Good morning, everyone. Today is the 6th day of Tammuz, July 12th. So I want to give a shout out to my friend Vihaemuna. You know who you are. Thanks for joining us. Today we shed a little bit more light on the mashal of the sun and its light, and the idea of the concept of bringing light into the world. Of course, we have light that we see, and then there's the spiritual light. The Alter Rebbe now offers an instance of how creation came about through the spheres. Al derech mashal, another example. On the first day of the 6 days of creation, chesed, the attribute of kindness, comprised of all of God's holy emotive attributes, with his will and wisdom and understanding and knowledge enclosed in it. What happened? All those attributes were revealed. And with this attribute of chesed, with all of the other attributes included, he created light with the utterance of Vayihi Or, and he created light, and let there be light. Shehi bechinas hispashtus v'amshachas oil lo'olam mi'amala, hispashtus v'olam misayif ha'olam ad sayfai, shehi bechinas midas chesed. When God says, let there be light, there's a diffusion and flow of light into the world from above, and it's diffusion into the world from one end to the other. This creation of light is an expression of the attribute of chesed, for chesed is characterized by diffusion and revelation. Light spreads out, and it reveals that which you couldn't see before the light was there. Yet because the attribute of chesed, of kindness, also includes the attribute of might, but the attribute of atzilus all incorporate each other. Therefore, therefore the light was not as spiritual as actual supernal light. I like how it says as spiritual. It's really physical. But light is, even though it's wonderful and we utilize it tremendously, but it's limited in this world. It goes away at night. Goes away in a dark room. The light also became enclosed in this world, which is finite and limited. For, as we mentioned from Gemara Chagiga, that it's a journey of 500 years from earth to heaven and from east to west. So these limitations, besides the fact that we're limited to time and space and everything else, well, that's space that we mentioned, but time, these limitations would not have to come were creation to proceed undiluted from the attribute of chesed. Hashem opened his hand up without gvura, and there would be no limitations on time and space. However, since gvura, the source of limitation, is created within chesed, within kindness, then creation becomes finite. Everything comes to an end eventually. At any rate, because the attribute of chesed was revealed and was dominant during the first day of creation, created beings relate to chesed, such as light, which came into existence on that day. We'd much rather talk about what we do have than how it's limited, right? That's our perception. And so too, similarly, on the second day, it was revealed the attribute of might, which is composed of the other emotive attributes, and his will and so on, meaning Chabad with Chacham Miradas. On the second day, with the attribute of might, Gvura, Hashem created what's translated here as firmament, the heavens, through the utterance of Yihirakia b'Seichamoyim. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. There was a separation, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So then we have heaven and earth. This separation of the waters by this firmament. Someone look that up, what that means. I'm not sure what that means. Is an expression of tzimtzum and restraint. Yeah, firmament's like that thing. No, it's an expression of tzimtzum and restraint, gvura, to conceal the upper spiritual waters from the lower. And v'alidei zeh, iskashma tachtonim, ibadlam v'helyonim. Through this separation from the upper waters, the lower waters became material. Now we have the oceans and the seas and the lakes, etc. So this materiality was brought about through the tzimtzum and concealment, which emanates from the attribute of might. Hashem had to hold back certain things in order for there to be something. When you have a keli, when you have a vessel, it limits how much you can have, but it also gives you the ability to have in the first place. If you're taking a long walk on a very hot day, you could say you could have all the water you want, but if you don't have that bottle which limits you to 16, 20 ounces, whatever that is, you're not going to have anything. So with having the limit gives you the ability to have something. So by limiting and restraining his own power, he was able to give us what we have now as the waters that cover the earth, the sea, and the oceans, and the lakes, rivers, and ponds and streams. And the flip side is also in the heavens. So this materiality was brought about through tzimtzumim, which is concealment, which emanates from the attribute of gvura, and the attribute that was revealed and dominant during the second day of creation. So initially we look at, we want chesed, we want goodness, kindness, love, but we also need gvura, holding things back, limiting what we could have by putting it in a bottle gives us the ability to have it.
Problem is it's not popular.
It's not popular. We got to make it popular. Make gvura great. Midas chesed klulaba ki olam chesed yibana. So when we talk about chesed, Hashem limited his chesed when he created light because it's certainly limited. If we would have too much sun, we'd all get sunburned all day. We couldn't handle it. We'd have to stay indoors. It would be terrible. First day with the light. Yeah, there's a tzimtzum which hold back some of the light because too much light wouldn't be good for us. And then too much gvura also wouldn't be good. We need chesed too. We need the waters, but we need to be careful, not too much. So the world was created through chesed, and the Rebbe says, a little footnote that the Rebbe adds, and the very act of building itself is an expression of kindness. The fact that the world was created for us to live in is an expression of kindness, even though we obviously have gvura, we have everything else in it. Plus, even where might prevails, it's tempered by the attribute of chesed. I only got this amount of money. At least you got that amount of money. At least you got something. You know what I mean? So I only have 6 ounces of water and I have a long walk. Okay, but at least you have 6 ounces. You'll drink little by little and it'll sustain you. So there's always a way to look, even in the difficult times and the challenging times, to say, okay, it's very sad when someone passes away, but at least we had many beautiful years together. I have to move. I'm missing all my friends, but at least I get to cherish the memories and the pictures and the experiences that we share, and I could always call. There's always a way to look at it from the bright side, from the side of chesed as well.
With gratitude.
Yeah, exactly. Shakol kidei sheteirah hayabasha va'adam aleh alav Hashem. So what was the purpose of creating the waters? For all this, the division of waters is in order that dry land appear and man live upon it to serve Hashem. So it was limited. If it was only water, we wouldn't be able to live. But since there was a limit of how much water, now there's earth. Most of the world is filled with water, even though we have patches of earth, the different continents which we can live on. So this is an act of kindness of Hashem. V'chein kulon, and so too with all of them. Each of the emotive attributes here, we just focused on chesed and gvura, but all the attributes likewise revealed on each subsequent day and became revealed in order to bring created beings into existence. Zehu sha'amar Eliyahu b'tikunim. Sham. And this is the thought that Eliyahu Hanavi expressed in the Tikkunim. The purpose of the emanation of this virus was to show how the world is conducted with righteousness and justice, and justice and righteousness, and everything in between. Tzedek Yehudin, Mishpat Yerachme, Chulu Koilo Lachza, Eich Snaheg Olma. Yohanavi continues and he says, righteousness is law, meaning the attribute of Gvura, and justice is mercy. All the revelations of the attributes are to show the how the world is conducted and how it was created. Avalav the Islach Tzedek Yidia the Ihudin, but it is not that you have a knowable righteousness, which is law. The law Mishpat Yidia the Ihurachme, nor a knowable justice, which is mercy. The love Mikol Inun Midas Klal, nor any of these other attributes at all. What is this saying here? This means to say that righteousness and justice exist as separately identifiable attributes, only relative to the world and created beings. From our perspective, there's din, there's rachamim, there's chesed, all these different attributes. From Hashem himself, from Hashem's perspective, it is not that you have these attributes. In relation to Hashem, they don't exist independently. They're all part of him, and they're all one with him. So the takeaway is, on each day of creation, another one of Hashem's divine attributes were revealed, and the creations of that day were expressions of that particular dominant divine attribute. And thus endeth the 10th chapter of Hayichud Vihaemuna. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to learn and begin the 11th chapter. Have a wonderful day and a good Shabbos Kodesh, everyone.